What's up, gamers? Welcome to GameStar Nation. My name is Rob, and today we're conquering the Plains. So the Plains is the 5th biome in Valheim. Upon early access release, it was the final biome and the most difficult, but since then Iron Gate has released 2 additional biomes, which is the Mistlands and the Ashlands. Both are significantly more difficult than the Plains, but the Plains is still going to be the most difficult biome we've taken on so far, by far. So I'm going to show you what to do and what to look for to maximize your chances of success. Now, this is the 5th video in my Valheim tutorial series. Each video covers a different biome or a different quote-unquote age in the game. Like when we first started this world, we were in the Stone Age. Then we moved into the Bronze Age, then moved to the Iron Age, eventually the Silver Age, and now the Blackmetal Age. Blackmetal can only be found in the Plains, so conquer the Plains, well, it's the only option we really got if we want it. Now, for those that are new to the series, I'm going to do this entirely organically. We're going to gather the gear, we're going to physically head and find a Plains, we're going to physically tackle it so that you can see exactly what to expect. To cover any previous information, whether it be how to build or how to upgrade a crafting table or any of the other stuff, you'll want to watch my previous videos found in the description below. And finally, I have to ask that if you get any value out of this video, click the like button, you consider sharing it, and think about subscribing, and doing any of those things help push the video through the algorithm to more people. With that being said, let's get to the gear check. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. The creatures in the Plains hit super hard. And so because of that, I can't recommend going to the Plains in anything less than silver armor or the wolf armor from the mountains. It is possible to go in there with less, but if you're skilled enough to do that, then you probably don't need my video. So if you're watching this video because you really want to know how to get to the Plains, take your time to make at least the base level silver armor. I've upgraded it at least once. I would recommend that you upgrade it to either 3 or to max of 4, just to make the whole experience a lot easier for you, especially if this is your first time in the Plains. But as always, I like to go with a little bit less than top, so that way if you go with better gear than me, it's going to be even easier. So I have the level 2 wolf armor and wolf cape, a level 2 Draugr Fang, level 3 iron axe, level 2 silver shield, level 2 Frostner, and then the tools which are unnecessary other than the iron pickaxe. Got a level 3 iron pickaxe. As far as food, we're going with the wolf skewers, which give us 65 health and 21 stamina. We're going with the onion soup, which is 20 health and 60 stamina. And the ice cream, which gives us 21 health and 65 stamina. Now, that being said, if this is your first time in the Plains, you'll be going in, I would recommend bringing in maybe a little bit more meat. You get a little more life heavy or health heavy. And serpent stew would be great for that. But I'm going to go ahead and just bring in this. But I would recommend, you know, if you have the time, bring really good food like serpent stew with you. All right, let's get on with it. We are ready to sail. Always remember to keep the supplies for a portal in your cargo hold of your ship. Now, the ancient power I've chosen is motor, and that's just to get us sailing to our destination and home a lot faster. But the bone mass power is a good one to bring to the Plains because it helps you absorb all kinds of damage, and things can get out of hand there pretty fast, really. So I would recommend bringing the bone mass buff, especially if this is your first time on the Plains. But I think we're going to be okay with what we have. Now, spotting plains can be actually difficult. The only trees that grow there are birch, but since birch are also found in the meadows, until you get close, it's still kind of hard to spot whether you're looking at a plains or not. But it's rare that you'll have a plains on your starting island. Most worlds generate with the very rare in the center, and as you span out in the world, there's a higher chance of plains spawning. So the further you get out from your mainland, you'll find plains more often. Now, the reason you kind of want to be cautious about going to the plains, though, is the most notorious of all the creatures in the plains is the death mosquito. It's just a giant mosquito that will kind of patrol around a certain area, and if it spots anything it considers an enemy, it immediately engages. They're glass cannons. They hit super hard, but they die almost instantly. So as long as you spot them first and go after them first, they're not that big of a deal, but they're kind of hard to spot sometimes. And they see you first, it can really make for a bad landing. The second thing is the Fulings I mentioned before, the goblins, they patrol around, and a lot more at night. So sometimes the shoreline looks safe, but it's best to sit back and just kind of wait for a minute or two and look, because oftentimes there may be Fulings waiting behind some of the bushes. Not like they're ambushing you intentionally, but they'll stop near the patrols and kind of stand around, and sometimes you don't spot them, and you'll jump on shore, and as soon as you get on shore and trying to grab your gear and get together, you're suddenly getting rushed by, a little squad of these guys. And they're probably the most dangerous, because they're quick, they're super aggressive, and they hit super hard, and they can take some hits. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn the ship around. We're going to go ahead and go around the backside of the island, and we are going to make landfall. This looks like a pretty small strip of the plains, so I'm not sure what all we're going to find, but let's check it out. I'm going to mark the map so we can find the ship if we need to in a hurry, or just in general. Let's go ahead and push it out to sea a little bit, in case we try to make a quick getaway. Now, I would also, if I were you on a normal run, I'd take the time to turn that ship around so that you can get out fast. I'd turn around and face it out to sea, so you can jump in and start paddling if need be. Also, don't forget to put your portal down in a secure place, so if things go south, you can come back quickly. I don't think we're going to be here very long, though, so I'm going to take my chances. Unfortunately, the rain's going to slow us down a bit, but that's okay. All right, we're approaching the plains here. Let's go ahead and creep around, try to be unseen. Oh, he just snuck right up on me. There we go. Ah! 2 of them. Awesome. Despite me sneaking around, I still wasn't paying close attention. Well, once you know they're there, you just got to block them and then immediately attack. If you can pull off the parry, great, but it's not necessary. All right. 2 Desquitos down. We got a needle, which allows us to get needle arrows. Those are super sweet. Those arrows work really good, and all you need is some feathers and like 4 of those to make 20 of the arrows. And trust me, you end up killing a lot of Desquitos as you're out here. So, early on, those arrows might seem like a luxury item, and you want to use them sparingly. But before you know it, it's going to become your primary arrow. All right, so we got a little pack of locks here. Locks have a ton of hit points. They're massive. They have an AoE stomp that does damage to everything around, including giant boulders that you may be standing on, or buildings you may be standing in. They're friendly with the goblins, so you got to be careful. In fact, some of your biggest issues you'll have in the plains is adds. That's when other mobs add to your fight. You're already fighting something, and the fight's under control, no problem, and the next thing you know, a Desquito jumps in, or the lock spots you. Things get really bad real fast. In fact, you got to be careful, because every creature in the plains is allied, except for the growth, which are the blobs by the tar pits. And they're super dangerous for everybody. They kill everything on sight. Everything is KOS to them. But you can oftentimes, if there's a tar pit nearby, you can lead a Lox or a band of Fulings that may be chasing you towards them, and they'll kill off and start fighting the blobs. You want to listen to the laughs of the Fulings that are around. They'll just laugh like hyenas, but there's certain responses they'll give, and they've spotted you or that they suspect you. Okay, also one of those giant hobgoblins, what are they called? The giant Fulings here. There's 2 in this camp, so this is not a small camp. There's several items that you're going to find only in Fuling camps. One of them is barley, which is going to give you really, really strong food options. And another one is flax. And that's going to be super important for the new weapons and armor. All right, there's a little tower right over here. Looks like it's just some undead skeletons. I'm going to camp here for the night, and we'll tackle those Fulings tomorrow. Look at that. Desquito went after the undead. Undead are not friendly to anybody. He's going after that one, too. I don't want to be here, because when he kills that, he's going to look for more prey, and I don't want to be it. Yep. They'll circle their prey and they'll come in for a bite. You can parry them. You just got to get right before they strike. But I would recommend for a long time, just block, just watch them. If you're only taking on one Desquito, you really don't have a big issue. If it bites you, don't panic, just relax. As long as you had food and a decent armor, you'll get a few shots at it. Oh shoot, there's a feeling coming up on me here. It's nighttime too. I want to get it brighter so you can see what's going on. Alright, so there's different kinds of Fulings. This particular one is one of the more dangerous ones. Those javelins. He'll run around kind of almost randomly, and then he'll stop and throw a javelin, and it hits really hard. You want to catch him in between those throws. I actually missed him more than I hit him. Thanks to the plants. Alright, so he's in the water, but he's about to throw. Okay, now we got a few seconds before he's dangerous again. He got stuck in the water. That's his bad. These guys drop the black metal. Okay, that's where you're gonna get black metal in the plains. Is they're gonna drop scraps whenever they die. So you don't want to kill them in deep water like I just did. Oh, what? Sorcerer spotted me. Shaman. So that's the first thing he'll do. The first spell he does is that shield, and any friendlies that are in him when that shield goes off all get a damage shield around them. And you have to. It lasts for a certain amount of time, and if you want to attack him in that time, you have to break it first, and then he's exposed. Shaman themselves, as you might expect, can't take a lot of damage, but that shield really helps them out. They shoot fireballs though, which do a lot of damage and ignite, and have AoE. I'm having a hard time even seeing them shoot right now. Bro, what are you doing? I'm gonna let the shaman maybe attack him. I better not screw up my shot. His shield wore out just as I shot. That was good timing. Accidental good timing. I just followed his nameplate there. The tree was in my way, but there we go. Black metal and a Fuling shaman trophy. Bro, I shouldn't waste arrows on these guys. All right, it's a little too dark, so we're gonna go ahead and build a camp here for the night. Let's hope we can do this without anyone hearing us. Oops. Are they investigating? No? Good. Okay, I don't know if this accounts as a shelter, but there's no roof. Do we have wood? Yes, let's go build a roof real quick. Oh shit. They're patrolling? Okay. Oh, 1 star, of course. Yeah, no, couldn't this be even a normal Fuling Berserker, which would be crazy hard? It's gonna be a 1 star. I gotta kill this Fuling before he gets here. Oh, there's a couple of them. Yeah, so they do massive damage. He's eventually gonna break this place down, and I can do hardly any damage to him. What arrows am I using? Okay, we're gonna switch to frost. These will slow them down and help me. Gosh dang, not for long though, huh? I just ran out of stamina, my bad. Alright, some graveyards just showed up. They'll hopefully draw some attention. Not for long. Alright, so you want to save frost arrows for big things like this, but I think you really need to save them for our rocks and the growths, which are the tar blobs near the tar pits. Tar monsters are super vulnerable to frost. So the Fuling Berserkers only have like 2 moves. That one where he swings sideways, it's real slow and you can see it coming. You can get out of the way. He stays planted until it's done swinging. And the other one is where he raises his club over his head and screams and then pounds the ground 3 times. That's the one. They'll do it 3 times. They can't even help themselves. Citizen's still putting pretty good marks on him. Oh, he almost gone. Oh, oh, he's splattered. I love it. Oh, Bubba. Where's he going? Oh, he's running. Oh, I mean, I don't blame him, but it's kind of cowardly. Big old tough guy. Oh, he just died. Poison must have got him. You try to do it. I'm trying to find the shot. All right, 1-on-1 it looks like. I'm gonna have to back up till I got some stamina. All right, let's loot it up. Oh yeah. Is this some deer they killed? Sadly, it might actually need the meat. Here's that berry. Cloudberries. These guys are delicious and quite nutritious, but they really are good. I mean, I don't know how they taste. I've never tasted one, but there we go. So we got a few banners we can make. There's gonna be some really good food recipes too, but we still need to unlock them. Okay, I'm really low on arrows. I'm really low on durability. My bow is almost shot. Yeah, I think it is time to pack this up. But I think I want to first get a rested bonus because I have gone way too long without one and I keep getting myself in trouble. So let me fall back to the boulder, get a rested bonus, and then we will get on with our adventure. Hold off on the portal home for now. Try to go ahead and clear this camp out. There's a javelin thrower up top, which I won't be able to take out without breaking my bow. Which I might do. Food is low though. Alright. Just draw him away. You're gonna want to pull these guys away from the village to avoid getting a bunch of ads. Once you get them out by you, just go ahead and take it to them. Don't overextend yourself. Don't use up all your stamina. Now, keep your eyes peeled too, because like right now, there's another one approaching us right here. So it'd be best if we just back up a little more to avoid it. Too late. That's what I mentioned before. You gotta like listen to their voices. When you hear that, huh? Then you know that they know you're there. Who else we got in here? Oh, staggered in that 1 star. Got him. Oh, 2 more. Oh. As you can see, I've taken a few hits through these fights, and as long as you're geared for it, it's not that big of a deal. All right, and then we've got some barley over here. Take some more of that. Yeah, it looks like that's about it around here. I'll leave him to tell the story. Well, that was one very heavily guarded, very small camp. I have a hard time even calling it a village. I don't know what those goblins thought they were guarding, but unfortunately, they didn't have any flax, which we're gonna need. They also didn't have a totem, and we need 5 of those if we want to summon Yagluth, the boss of the plains. And beyond that, we still have a lot more to get, so let's go ahead and find a good large-sized plains. We'll drop anchor, build a portal, head back to repair, and then finish our exploration of the plains. Let's go. And ahead. This looks like a pretty good sized plane. Let's go ahead and whip this around so we can make a quick exit if we need to. Okay, and as always, make sure to mark the map. Oh, look, we got a little vendor right there. Get supplies out for our portal. All right, so we're just gonna start with peg. We're gonna come off the side of that. Bang, bang, bang. And this way. Just a nice little square. All right, starting to get red, so we're going to support it. If you can't get to line up, just put it next to where you want it to go, a little bit back. All right, and then the next piece will just snap right where you want it. We can break that one. That one snap it in place, so no problem. Let's go ahead and finish the square here. Now, most of the supports are for looks, but the more you have, it will help if the portal gets attacked, they start slamming it. If you can keep enough supports up, they may not spot all the supports. When they break some, the whole thing will stay up, where if you only have one support and they break it, then the whole thing comes tumbling down. So it's good to support it besides just for looks. Boom! Portal home. Just in case. We already got the boat marked, but what the heck, we're gonna mark the portal too. And now through the power of editing, I have upgraded the bow one more just to give it more durability. I don't want to have to head back for repairs too often. And we've already repaired our gear. Let's get on with this expedition. So we're looking for tar pits, we're looking for flax, and some totems. Ah, Fuling hut. Great spot here to find totems. Well, I say great spot. They're not guaranteed to have them, but there's a good chance that they will have a totem right in the front door. So I'm gonna go ahead and just walk right in, make myself at home, see what they got. Hey, there we are right there. These are the totems. Fuling totem. You need 5 of these in order to summon Yagluth. Hello? Hello? Goodbye. Now, besides stealing from goblin outposts, you can also find totems near bonfires in goblin villages. In addition to that, Fuling berserkers have a 10% chance to drop one every time you kill them. But generally speaking, the goblin outposts are going to be the easiest way to obtain them. Alright, another village, another chance for flax. Again, I'd like to avoid combat if we can, just to save some time. Oh, what's this? There we go, a tar pit. How many growths? I see 2, 3, maybe 4. Should be a good fight. Let's see if we can just kite out big boy first. Go. Alright, now if you got calm nerves, you can go ahead and aim for headshot. It'll do quite a bit more damage, but honestly, I'm just going for center mass. This guy can take a lot of damage, so we're going to keep him slowed with the frost. Going to keep him at range longer. And because his attacks are slow, we can kind of stay out of range. Just keep our cool, pluck away. And alright. It is possible to parry those guys' swings. It's not that difficult. Problem is, when you mistime your block or your parry, it hurts really, really bad. In order for him to attack, he needs to kind of stop to swing. Even the stepping swing he does, it's much slower. They're usually not that difficult if that's all you have to deal with to just kite. Just let him swing at you, move out of the range, and just keep on plucking away with your bow. Alright, got our stam up. Let's go ahead and grab the attention of some of these guys. And we are going to take them out to the tar pits for some fun. Now, we got to peel off here, make sure we're not the targets of the growths. Once they see each other, oh yeah, it's on. Dude, the Fulings have no chance. Try not to become the next target. Oh, he just got obliterated. How many growths are left? 3? At least 3. Oh, there's another Fuling. He already died. Well, let's just take them over to the village, I guess. Alright, we just got to get on the other side. The Fulings, so they become the target. Growths will attack anything and everything. They don't care. Any living creature must die as far as they're concerned. So whoever's closer to them is going to be their target. That is including Desquitos. And as you can see, I am dodging the Desquito attacks. You hear that noise? That's them striking. If you can get used to their strike pattern, you just sprint at the moment they would attack and usually kind of slide out of their range. What's happening? Sound like a Desquito actually got one of them. Another growth just died. That, I think, was the last growth. Alright, so that means we got to go ahead and fight the remaining Fulings. 1 star, got to watch out for him. That one's almost dead. He stuck me before he went down. Alright, bud. Let's go. All right. Hey, there it is. That's what we're looking for. Flax. So flax and barley are the 2 plants that grow in the plains, and they only grow in the plains, so we will need to make a farm out in the plains and a portal to it so that we can grow our own flax. Flax is actually the key to the new equipment. Almost all of the new gear, just about all of the new gear, whether it be armor or weapons, is going to come from the flax. Each one of these adult plants you harvest will give you 2 flax. Excellent. Hey, look at that. Whole village to ourselves. Ah, it's a crappy village. Now, we really killed 2 birds with 1 stone by running the tar growths into the village, because now we have this tar pit to ourselves. And this is one of the most important things that you're going to find in the plains, and probably one of the main reasons you'll keep coming back to the plains. And that's to get more tar, because tar is the active ingredient in Darkwood, and a little bit goes a long ways, but chances are you're going to have a long ways to go. If you were just to kill the growths themselves, you'd only get 1 tar per growth, and even though they respawn, it would take forever to get the tar you need. And you can see, actually, in the tar pit, there's a bunch of little globs floating. Sometimes you'll find them around the edge of the tar pit, and you'll get a decent amount of tar from those, about 4 tar globs for each one of those that you loot. The real treasure is down at the bottom of this tar pit. The thing about tar is anything touching it gets stuck, and you can't get it out. Let's see if I can get close enough to show you. Okay, so see? There we go, stuck in the tar. Even if I throw an item out of my inventory into the tar, once it makes contact with the tar, see that? Stuck. So you have to really drain the tar away from the items that you want to loot. And so we need to physically drain all the tar out of this to get to the bottom. And the best way to do that is to find a lower elevation, which it looks like we have right over here. And we just dig a trench right into it. As long as the trench is lower than the tar in the tar pit, once we make contact and break through, all that tar will just pour out and will drain, allowing us to get all the good stuff at the bottom here. So let's go ahead and get to digging. Again, we just need the trench down below it. If you don't have a lower elevation spot, if everything's kind of flush or the tar pit itself is in the low spot, then you can just dig a big hole straight down next to it and then dig a trench up into it. As long as you can get another area for the tar to drain out into, you can get to, well, really every item that's in the tar pit. Now, it doesn't really matter if you find yourself going deeper and then higher and all that. It doesn't have to be actual slope. It just needs to be a trench that is lower than the tar pit is currently. All right, we're starting to see tar now. Kind of oozing its way down the sides. It might be hard for you to see, but there's some shine down on my feet. And there's some tar pouring down the side here. They kind of splashed into it there. It starts to get real messy when you get close. It starts filling up on you. You see it draining on down our little trench there. It can be a little frustrating because every time the tar raises up on you, it's going to put your pick away. Just pull it back out again. Oh, but you can see it right now draining. All right, let's connect these two. You get more to drain, just dig it lower, dig deeper. It's like basic physics at this point, for the most part. You just need to literally drain it. So we got the little globs. They were the ones, all these here are the ones that are floating on the surface, these little guys. Every time we collect those, we'll get 4 tar at the top left. And that's 4 pieces. That's like 4 roof pieces or wall pieces, planks, whatever. But these big globs here, that is 15 of them. You see that? Ooh. So you can actually get quite a bit of tar from one of these tar pits. Because you'll typically get a minimum of 3 big globs. You know, a random amount of these smaller globs. Plus globs of tar from growths you kill. You're looking minimum 1 and sometimes up to 2 stacks of tar per tar pit. Not bad. All right, let's get back and put this stuff to use. What an adventure. I'll tell you what, I'm a little wore out. Let me just enjoy this evening. In the morning, we'll go through all the new stuff we just unlocked. All right, so first up we have the blast furnace, which works just like the smelter, but for stronger metals. This is how we're going to turn our black metal scraps into black metal ingots. Basically, we just go up. We're going to feed coal into one side. We're going to put our black metal scrap in the other. And then we're just going to wait. And before you know it, black metal ingots. Super easy. That's how we like it. All right, let's check out the new stuff. All right, so we have the padded armor here, which, as you can see, takes iron. Not much either, 10 iron and 15 linen thread. All of the padded armor actually just takes iron and linen thread, so it's relatively inexpensive. It's an improvement over the wolf armor in every way, and for this stage in the game, it's really the only armor upgrade option. I want to go ahead and find a black metal item just to show you. So here, a black metal axe that would actually upgrade the iron axe. You can use it for chopping trees or as a weapon, but it's significantly upgraded from iron, which is great, but I just want to show you, you do need black metal in fact to make it, some fine wood, and linen thread. So linen thread is really going to be the important item through the plains. You want to really make a large farm of that and maybe get a couple spinning wheels going just to get a bunch built up fast. And that doesn't really stop going forward in the game either. So linen thread is kind of a constant need. But I have gathered up all the supplies we need to upgrade ourselves so we can go from this to this. I think it's an upgrade. Now, as a side note, in order to max out your forge table, you're going to need one of these grinding wheels, which you can actually find randomly in the chests in Fuling villages. But easier than that, you can actually craft them yourself at the stone cutter. And that will upgrade your forge yet another level, giving you access all the best gear for this stage of the game. And we can now upgrade our storage yet again with the black metal chest. We have 32 spaces of storage now. It's quite a bit more than the 24 that we used to get with the reinforced chest. Definitely an upgrade. And how about some furniture upgrades? Using the tar, we've just upgraded both these pieces, gaining more of a rusted bonus. Of course, after a long day of smashing Odin's enemies, it's nice to return home, peel off this blood-soaked armor, throw some logs in the stove, climb in that hot tub with some nice decompression. Sometimes you just gotta let go, you know? All right, and up next we have the windmill. Now, The windmill is a new building. It just requires the artisan table and a few simple resources to make, and it grinds barley into barley flour, which is going to give us new food recipes, which are really good. The thing to understand about the windmill, though, is it does require wind. The more wind and the faster the wind, the faster it'll process the flour. In my personal experience, I find that there is a lot more wind and a lot stronger wind in the plains than there is in the meadows or any of the lower biomes. So I recommend creating a farm in the plains to grow both your barley and your flax, which requires the plains to grow, and then also find a high point in the same farm to place the windmill. Now the windmill's pretty simple. You put barley in one side and flour comes out the other, and the process in between is just a matter of time, how fast the wind is blowing. Do not block the windmill with other buildings or trees. Try to give it a good open flow, preferably at a higher elevation. As for the flax that you harvested, we'll just take it to a spinning wheel, and then like most machines, we just kind of sit and wait for it to do its thing, and linen thread comes out the other side. Look at that. Look at all we can make now. There's our new armor, Blackmetal axe, linen cape, Blackmetal knife, lock saddle. You guys should tame and ride locks. Good stuff. Actually, let's take a second to talk about locks. Locks are huge, aggressive, woolly creatures that slowly migrate in small herds across the plains. With the exception of growths or tar blobs, locks are friendly with the native population, so they're completely comfortable around Fulings of all kinds and mosquitoes. So search the area for those first and take them out before beginning to attack any locks. Once you can isolate one of the locks from the herd, pull it with a ranged attack, and then you're going to want to kite it as long as possible, keeping objects or structures between you and the locks whenever possible. So look for boulders or the stone pillars or even buildings. But be careful around buildings that you care about, because the lock's AoE stomp will damage structures, friend and foe, as well as boulders, trees, and even stone pillars. Now the locks actually has 3 attacks total, and I'm going to slow them down here so we can go through each one. There's the AoE stomp, which gives you a large window to get out of the way. There's the charge, where he just kind of body blocks you. It'll feel more like a shove, but it will do damage. Then finally the bite, which is a directed attack, and does the most damage, by far. That one will yeet you off a cliff. So early on, you're going to want to avoid melee combat with the locks. You also want to keep the locks in the same vicinity if possible, unless you're aware of the entire area and know that there's no aggressive mobs around. But even when you take the most precautions, it's still possible that a patrol is going to come by and add to your fight. At which time you need to quickly evaluate whether or not you should take the time to finish off the locks and risk death, or just get out of there and try again another day. Once you do kill a lox, you'll unlock the lox pelt, which can be used to make a lox cape, a lox rug, and a lox pie, just like Mama used to make. Now to make your own lox pie, just create a food preparation table if you don't already have one, and then with just 2 cloudberries, 2 lox meat, and 4 barley flour, you can make an unbaked lox pie, which gives you 75 health and 24 stamina, so it is a powerhouse of a food option. In addition to that, you can also make bread dough, which gives you 25 health and 70 stamina, giving you another really good stamina option. Then we just throw some wood in the bottom and our baked goods up top. Wait a little bit. Out of the oven and some golden brown goodness. When did I eat last? Okay, to prepare for our battle with the Yagluth, we have a level 2 Frostner. Other viable options would be the silver sword or black metal sword. Also, there's an argument to be made for the flesh rippers, but I have not tested that out myself. As far as shield, it's not that important for this fight, but I am using a level 1 black metal shield. We also have our padded armor and lox cape. Again, the lox cape's not necessary. If you already have another cape a higher level, it'll be just fine. We have our fire resistance mead, and honestly, this is crucial. Of all things you'll bring, this one I can't recommend enough. Yagluth does massive damage with his fire attacks, so the fire-based mead is a necessity. Beyond that, to be safe, I'm going to bring some medium healing as well. I recommend you do the same. In fact, I'm going to put both of these up in my action bar. Beyond that, I've got some arrows just in case. They're not going to be very useful, because again, he is heavily resistant to pierce damage. But as far as food, I have 4 options here, and using any 3 of these 4 would be a good choice. I've got the bread, blood pudding, lox meat pie, and serpent stew. Now, this fight really is about resisting a lot of damage. So as much as I'd like to take stamina in, I'm gonna go with serpent stew, lox pie, and blood pudding. Which is gonna give me 2 heavy health foods and 1 heavy stam food. I'd honestly recommend the same for you. Now before you can defeat Yagluth, you're gonna have to find him. And the difficulty is, with most other bosses, you just find a boss stone or a Vegvasir, and it'll point you right to the boss. But in the case of Yagluth, those Vegvasirs are really rare. They're really hard to find, and they're also usually guarded by Fulings or Fuling berserkers. You'll know you found one because it'll look like a small, or in some cases a large, Stonehenge-style structure, where stones have been intentionally stacked on top of each other. The real problem though is that these Stonehenge structures have a super low spawn rate. So in most cases, players find Yagluth's spawner before the Vegvasir pointing to his spawner. And that's because Yagluth's spawner is the largest, most recognizable, most unique spawner in the game. It looks like a giant hand tearing out of the earth, getting ready to clinch into a fist, but it's made from natural stone pillars. It's really large, it's really pretty cool, but it's super easy to spot. In fact, I found Yagluth's spawner in this world before I found the Vegvasir. But I have found a spawner. I've already created a portal to it. I think it's time to go smash this creek. Let's do it. The Yagluth fight can be a lot of fun, but it also can be a nightmare if it goes south. So I want to explain the fight ahead of time before we start it, just so you know what to look for and what to expect. Also, I want to warn you, expect spoilers beyond this point. If you don't want to see what the fight or Yagluth look like, look away now. Or if you don't want to know anything about the fight and go in completely blind, skip ahead to the timestamp on the screen now. I hope you've made your decision by now. Here we go. Yagluth has a total of 3 attacks, and he'll give you a cue of what it is before he does it. If he raises his right hand, he's going to follow up by slamming the ground with his fist and creating a large AoE explosion. Then this entire area will be covered with a fire debuff for a short period of time. If you're in that area, you will start taking fire damage. But the fire resistance buff mitigates most of that and makes this the least dangerous attack. In addition to that, if you're lucky enough to have your spawner right next to a body of water, which is fairly common, you can just dip yourself into the water to give yourself the wet debuff, which will absorb a lot of the fire damage until it burns off. It is one more thing you have to track during the fight, but it really helps. But even if you don't have water nearby, as long as you have a fair amount of health, you can ignore the attack and just dig into him. His second most dangerous attack is fire breath that he'll shoot out at you. He takes a deep breath right before he does it. Once he starts the attack, a beam of fire, almost like a laser, will shoot out from his mouth and will follow you for a certain amount of time. It doesn't last long, but you don't want to be hit by it for any amount of time. It is easy to dodge just by strafing sideways, and you're guaranteed to avoid it as long as you're sprinting. His third attack is the most dangerous, and it's where everything can go wrong. That's when he raises his left hand in the air. A few seconds after he does that, burning fireballs will come down from the sky with giant asteroids and just smash everything around. They also have an AoE blast when they hit, and they'll ignite you on fire, doing a large amount of damage even with the fire resistance. Luckily, you can tell which way they're going to come from so that you can find cover to avoid them. The fireballs always come up from behind the Yagluth in the direction of the player he's attacking. So once you see him raise his left hand, get a pillar between you and him as fast as possible. And then just keep yourself nice and tight in there so that you don't catch any of the splash damage from the meteors. If you can avoid the meteor showers, this fight will go smooth. Keep an eye on your fire resistance. Make sure it's on at all times. Keep an eye on your health and don't hesitate to use a healing potion if needed. And watch for ads. They can be the biggest problem. Do not ignore them because they will not take the damage from Yagluth and they'll stand there in the fire with you, beating you down. That's pretty much it. You're going to rotate between these 3 attacks. You're going to hit them when you can. The final thing to understand is Yagluth has a high resistance to pierce damage. So arrows are near worthless. Sword stabbing, the special attack, not as good as you'd expect. The 3 best weapons to use against Yagluth are going to be either the Blackmetal sword, the silver sword, or the Frostner, which is my personal favorite, as it really helps out slowing down the ads, making them easy targets to kill fast. The slowing effect doesn't affect Yagluth, but the hammer itself does plenty of damage. All of these weapons do a good job, so it really should come down to what you have available and what you have leveled up. But with that, I think we covered all the important stuff, so I'm just going to shut up for a minute, let you watch the highlights of this fight, and then I'll be back to explain what we do afterwards. There we go. Yagluth trophy. That's going to give us new Forsaken power. And then the Torn Spirit gives us the Wisp Fountain, which gives us access to the Mistlands. Let's just get back, cover the last couple things we have to, and call it a win. There we can see resistance to magic damage and lightning damage. Gives you damage modifier to resist fire, resist frost, and resist lightning. So essentially, it's like resistance against elemental damage. So now Bone Mass will give you resistance against physical damage, and Yagluth against elemental damage. So depending on what biome you go in, you can properly pick which one will work best for you. Now the Torn Spirits are used to make the Wisp Fountain. Once you've created one, simply wait for nightfall, and it will attract wisps. In fact, you can have up to 3 wisps circling your fountain at any one time. Now all you have to do is go up and catch one, and we can now make a wisp light, which will help us see through the mist of the Mistlands. Finally, once you've defeated Yagluth, return to Haldor the Merchant, where you'll discover new super expensive eggs. They're 1,500 coins apiece, and you're going to need 2 of them. Once you purchase them, take them to an enclosed space near a fire, separate them from each other so they're not stacked, and just toss them out in the world. As long as they're covered and warm, in about an hour's time, they'll hatch into chickens. At first, they're young chicks, but given some time, they will mature. Once you have 2 mature chickens in the same enclosed space, feed them seeds of any kind, and they'll begin to breed and lay new eggs. Then just wash, rinse, repeat. And that brings us to the end of our adventures in this land. You now know everything you need to know about the Plains and Black Metal Age in Valheim. And with that, we can chalk up yet another success. You have proven you have what it takes, warrior. You have liberated many lands. Destiny is calling, warrior. Claim it. Go. Push through the darkness and bring justice.